So I pretty much got no movement on in my right side of my body, but but all that does is must be just makes me more determined to to get out there and achieve.
I'm so excited to bring you this interview with Evan today. Evan is someone who has not let his disability hold him back. Now, you're listening to the Figuring Life Out Together podcast. This is all about listening to people's stories, and I am constantly amazed at what you can learn from the life experiences of somebody else. And this week it's no exception. Evan shares some incredible determination, a passion, a zeal for life that I think you can't help being inspired by. Let's go to that interview with Evan now. Evan, great to talk to you today.
Thank you. I'm very excited to talk to you too.
So, have you had to overcome any challenges in your life so far?
I've had to overcome people bullying me, telling me that I can't do something because I've only got the ability of one hand, and I just basically turn around and there and must be tell them that I can pretty much do whatever they can do with two functional limbs or functional limbs. I'm able to do with only one, and do it, and most times do it even better than they can.
Have you always had that confidence and belief in yourself?
Not always. Probably only been in the last maybe 15 years or 20 years. I've actually started to feel that confidence in some areas of my life. There are other areas where I sort of feel a little bit not so confident, but getting up at godly hour on a Saturday morning to get up and muffy and get into park run gear and run in some really wacky stuff, and getting responses from people, and basically saying how much they love what I do. It must be, and then but people tell me that must take a lot of confidence to be able to think of all these different ideas and different things to get dressed up as. So
what's given you the confidence to do that?
Just trying to be the best version of myself than I can. So it's I'm just trying to be the best, the best I can be, and try to be as true to myself as I can. And if that basically builds confidence, and sometimes I don't realise that I actually am portraying that people with disabilities are, or people like me, are able to jump over barriers and just prove that you don't need to have two good limbs, or have functional limbs to be able to get out into the world and do what you need to do.
That's fantastic, Evan. You encourage a lot of people, and your story is pretty inspiring. What makes you get out there and dress up, help in the community? What's your motivation?
To bring back as much kindness and lots of community spirit into this community, when sometimes people feel like they need the people feel like they don't feel like that they need to, but I think we all need help at some stage, and if you're willing to help other people and bring kindness, it's always going to come back on you, and when you need it, you would hope that those people would return the favour.
So, who would you say, or have there been people in your life that have shown you kindness, Evan, and encouraged you?
Family, family must be have always told me I need to be my true self, and I need to just try anything and everything. It must be so don't let anything hold me back. So that's what I try to do. I try to help where I can, be a listening ear when I need to, just be the best version of myself that I can.
Has there ever been a challenge which has got the better of you? It's been too hard.
Driving?
Yeah.
Must be. Yeah, I think I tried to get my license, and after about 2.5 years of, not 2.5 years, probably about 4 years of having lessons and that sort of stuff. The driving instructor and I must be discussed that that must be that it would probably be best for me to maybe stop for a while. What was happening must be I was while I was doing lessons and that sort of stuff, I was an absolute nervous wreck. The only times that I actually drove, I drove fantastic was after the driving test. Both times, must be I basically was driving home with, why can't I be like this when I'm having my lessons? But it was just must be I just sort of felt like it all got the better of me, and must be and I just thought, is this really what I want? So I want a car, but then I sit back and think of everything that basically comes with a car, and must be and all the costs and that sort of stuff. Like, no, I think public transport's better for me to get from A to B, or walk. That's another thing I like doing. Mostly walking crazy distances from my place and my place to Costco and back to Yamanto and to Brassel and back, and so Riverlink to Yamanto and that sort of stuff. So it's a little bit crazy, but I am who I am.
Yeah. Tell me about your current job.
I work at 100 Jacks at Yamanto. I work there 4 hours. 4 hours Thursday, 4 hours Friday. I do wash up. I do food preps. I wash windows. Change bins. Sanitize the buckets. I'm quiet, which people are quite surprised at when I tell them that when I'm at work, I don't really say a heck of a lot. They're like, but otherwise, Evan, you're a chatterbox. I went, yes. It is very hard to believe that I'm like that. I think I've worked there for 7 years. And I think we've had quite a lot of people come in and people come out. It must be to basically and people who were working there when I started must be now no longer working there, which are crew, managers, changes of roster managers. So yeah, there's managers that basically come and go, and there's workers that must be come and go in the time that I've been there, and yeah, I kind of enjoy it.
Yeah.
It has its moments, but
What would you like to do if you were looking for another job?
I'd like to public speaking, getting up in front of people and talking about disabilities, and talking just educating them about disabilities, and that having a disability shouldn't and doesn't stop you from achieving the same sort of goals as a so-called normal person who hasn't got a physical disability of some sort.
Do you think everyone has a disability of some sort, in a way of speaking?
Yeah, they do, but I think some are more. They're worse than others. So then people have to sort of work a little bit more harder to achieve the same goal as anyone else.
Yeah. Is there anything else you'd wish people would know about people with physical disabilities? That
not to judge the person on what they look like, because you're basically putting a persona, or you're putting that person down by saying, or because that person looks a certain way, that they can't do it, and you just have to you just have to let the person try to achieve their goals in the best way they can, and let them do it at their own speed, and let them try to achieve what they want to achieve. If that makes any sense.
What can have people been able to help you achieve those things in any way? What could what's the most helpful thing someone's done for you?
Probably the most helpful thing that's happened to me was me actually working, because from that I've learnt so many different ways of like, before I started working at Hungry Jack's, must be I didn't know how to do my shoelaces up, or I didn't know how to, and I was able to work out a way of doing my shoelaces, and then there were other tasks at work that I really have never thought that, or things that I have achieved which I never thought that were going to come from working at a place like that. So that must be. So working at Hungry has really changed the way I think about how doing different tasks and finding different ways to do things.
Did it surprise you at all, some of the things you were able to achieve?
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't think I'll be able to do that. I'll try it this way. Oh, it worked. Oh, okay, cool, excellent. I'll just continue trying to improve on the way that I do, on the way I do certain things. So
can you give an example of something you've been able to do recently?
I think it was last Thursday. There were some containers that I had to lift, and they were big containers, and they were sort of like stuck one after the other. And so what I did, I actually was able to work out a way of I'm using both my hands and putting them on the side, and then just lifting the thing, and mapping. I did one and went, cool, that worked. Okay, I might just see, and I think I did a couple, and I did a couple, and they actually, yeah. And I'd find it quite easy to basically do, and then Muffy, and then it got down near the bottom, and they were a little bit more harder to do. So I've actually turned them over, and Muffy, and I did it the other way, and that worked. So that was a very small achievement. And then I think it was 6 months ago or something. I one of the managers, when it was really slow, she asked me if I wanted to make a couple of burgers. And so I was able to make 2 burgers, and I basically got home and went, that's something I've always wanted to do, and I got the chance by the manager, and I got home and I was just, wow, how I just did that, how the earth. But
sometimes you just need the opportunity.
Yes.
So I'm interested
and the encouragement.
Interested in your public speaking. What's given you that desire to public speak?
I think it was just after I finished school. I went into an organisation called CAT, which are no longer around in Murphy. They were, and I think probably halfway through my time there must be there was a chance to sort of like to do talks for International Day of People with Disabilities and Disability Action Week, and going out to schools and trying to talk to them. I got a little bit nervous, must be before I actually did it, but that comes with the territory, I suppose. And if I basically got out there, and went out to schools and tried to tell them that having a disability doesn't mean that you're any less of a person. And then from that, I just got the confidence that I wanted to do that as a possible job at some point. But I just wasn't sure when it was going to come, when it was going to arise, and when it was going to come. But I was, so there's something that
maybe someone listening here would like you to come and speak for them.
Yeah, but
say yes.
I'm willing to get out there and learn more skills that I think people tell me that I probably need to do more skills or learn more skills to help me with that. So if someone wanted me to go out and speak somewhere I'll do my best to do that.
Yeah. Can you explain a bit more about your disability?
I have when I was born in 1980. My dad was stationed in the RAF in Malaysia, and they diagnosed it as the worst case of meningitis possible. And then within 8 months, we came back to Australia, and they diagnosed it as cerebral palsy. So I'm affected down my right arm and leg are affected. So I pretty much got no movement in my right side of my body. But all that does is just makes me more determined to get out there and achieve as many goals as I can, and to show people that only having one functional arm and leg doesn't mean that it's going to stop me from getting out in the world and and showing people that I can do it. And I think it must be. I think two of my, and also as you can hear, I've got a bit of a stutter, which I try to control, but must be I just have to sort of like calm down sometimes, and that. But I think at one of my other churches, I actually had a little kid who basically told me that I couldn't do something because I only had one functional arm, basically, and I sort of told him that I could do that I could do what he could do. I could do it with one arm, but he would have to do it with two. But I was able to do it with one arm because I worked out a way for it to work for me, and so I just do what I can, and if it works, it works. If it doesn't, I just have to continue and try harder to get better at it.
Well, you must prove a lot of people wrong, Evan.
I do.
Tell me, why do you believe in God?
I believe in him because I felt my life sort of was I just felt like I just couldn't see it going anywhere. I just felt and then I think it was one night. And then I think it was after school one day, I asked my best mate Matt if I could basically join him at a Bible study group, and I thought it was only going to be like only going to be one night, only be there. It's not gonna happen. Must be people aren't gonna see me for who I am. Walked in, I just felt very calm and very cool and collected, and must be and loved her, and I went there for 4 weeks, and then I asked my best mate Matt if I could basically join him at church, and then went to church, and then over time I felt like I was getting my life back, and other people were telling me that what I was doing, or what I was perceiving to them, I was inspiring them to try to become better people, which I never thought that was going to be the case. And then from that, must be I just grew more confident and more confident in knowing that Jesus was there to help me and to make me a better person, and to prove that anything is possible. Anything is possible if you put your mind to it, and with God and Jesus. If you put your hands in, if you put your life in God's hands, the world is your oyster. I think that's yeah. And so I feel like a completely different person than I was when I left school, and knowing that Jesus will always be there, God will always be there to help me, must be whenever I need his assistance.
Well, thank you for sharing so honestly, Evan.
That's no problem.
Is there a dream you have at the moment? Is there something you're working towards?
You do public speaking as a job, and spread the word to as many people as I can, and maybe just be the best version of myself that I can. So that's something that I strive to, and I want to continue doing. But I do have a bit of a I think it was for the first 6 months of me going to church. People kept talking about a pastor, like must be pastor, and I actually went to someone probably about 6 months later, and I said, I've got a question. It's like, what's a pastor? I said, I keep hearing about this pastor duty, and so it's another time it's another word for a minister, and they said why. I went I thought because they were called pastors that they ate lots of pasta. But someone was like, no, Evan, that's got absolutely nothing to do with it. A pastor is just another word for a minister. I went, okay, that makes more sense. So I know it's a bit of a funny thing, but it must be that it's just something that I didn't realise at the time. But yeah, I want to dream big. I want to achieve the best I can. I want to be doing what I enjoy doing, and being with the people that I enjoy being with, and I hope when I die that people can say Evan was an inspiration, and he was someone that must be we looked up to, and we're so happy to be a part of his life.
That's beautiful, Evan. You're not afraid to ask the questions, and always looking for getting the most out of life.
Yeah, that's the plan.
Fantastic. Thanks, Evan.
No problem.
I wonder what it was that Evan shared that inspired you the most. Please let us know in the comments. If you're interested in engaging with the community behind this podcast, go to our website, haventogether.com, and you'll find ways you can interact and get to know us. We'd love if that's you. And if you already know us, I'd love to speak to you about this podcast at some point. Otherwise, I hope you can maybe check out some of our other recent podcasts, some links up there, or back here, or coming up. Otherwise, I'll see you next time.